Okay. Hey everybody. Hello. So today I just have you on a small tripod because I'm going to take you on a walk in my garden. So we're going to head out that way. Well, not quite that way. That way. And we're going to walk through the garden. But we'll start with all of the things that I have up here on the deck. And before we get started with my walk, I do need to remind you that the year of self-care is ongoing, so make sure that you are posting to social media about the year of self-care. And remember, we are in Craft Outside, or Craft in the Sun. And hi Kathy, and I think Bev's watching too, so if you are, hi Bev. And you know, it's craft on your deck, craft in the park, just get a little sun, enjoy yourself. Today is actually a super pleasant day to take a walk in the garden. We got a good day. Last 4 days, temperature has tried to reach 100 degrees. Hasn't quite gotten there, but it's tried. It was very unpleasant, but today is really nice. The storms rolled through. In fact, it was cool enough this morning. I actually had I have a lightning bug right there. Random lightning bug just stopped by to say hi. Well, go on. That was entertaining. I couldn't have practiced that if I wanted to. It'll never happen again. Anyway, the storms rolled through last night. I had a sweatshirt on this morning because it was just cool enough that I needed a little something with the wind blowing. And anyway, yeah, we're going to take a little walk. I'm going to show you kind of what's up here on my deck. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I do with my vegetables and my herbs and things like that. And holy, that's disgusting, Kathy. 91 in Portland right now with a forecast of 104 by Saturday. No, thank you. Just, no, thank you. It's bad enough out here when it gets really hot. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. I mean, I tolerate it. I really live for spring, summer, or spring, fall, and winter. Summer is not, I mean, I enjoy parts of summer, but I don't love it. And yes, super high temperatures in June are not pleasant. But I think it's only like 70, 72 degrees here today. Maybe a little bit warmer. It's not very warm. It's actually really, really pleasant at the moment. And everything's all nice and green and fresh because we had, a nice storm last night. So anyway, I do need to remind you as well that Slow Crawl is ongoing. So if you're participating, don't forget to keep checking out all of our fabulous shops. We have 32 shops and 50 patterns on our Slow Crawl this year. There's a lot going on. All right, so I'm going to start over here. And you guys have been on the deck before. I've shown you some of the things on the deck. Ina helped me plant flowers, so we have some interesting combinations. But I think I ended up with phlox, marigolds, and nasturtiums in the one pot, and maybe a similar thing actually in all three of those pots. And then I think those are actually poppies that I wound up with over here. And then I have random things going on over here. And yeah, see, Bev, you're up in Wisconsin, right? And yeah, it's chillier up there. I think this was supposed to be a sweet gum tree, but we got it for free. Avi picked it up, and it just hasn't really grown very well. I have some coxcomb in this pot that I actually transplanted. This is a reseeding of cilantro, so I'm hoping that comes back together. This was some nice mint. I have lots of curry trees, but right now only 4 of the 5 have survived. I have a little dill right here and some cilantro. I've got a little dab of thyme. I think this is a little bit of mint. I actually reseeded this with a bunch of cilantro recently. And then this is like a volunteer lettuce that I don't recall planting, but there it is. I have some Thai chili plants here because my husband really likes the hot stuff. I have 2 little lingonberry plants that I need to add a little more soil to. I have chives up here, and then again some cilantro, and another random, I don't even know, seeds, just seeds. That's another random lettuce. This is another pot for cilantro because we use a lot of cilantro. And then I still have some canes that I need to plant because I just haven't gotten around to it. This is my original curry tree, which I actually bought out in Oregon, and it's actually looking pretty decent this year. I'm hoping that it blooms again so I can have more seeds and I can plant those. I have rosemary and mint here, and that's my citronella. And then there's a story here. I got really upset because my cucumbers weren't sprouting well in the garden, so I planted a bunch and I'm going to put them out in the garden probably tonight before they get too much bigger. And then I have a big pot over here with a ton of coxcomb in it that I really need to start moving because there's just way too many of those that they're too crowded. And then some more of my marigolds and some phlox again, and a little parsley and some basil and my lemon tree. So my lemon tree was something that I bought last year, and I have managed to not only keep it alive but actually have fruit, and I have enjoyed several lemons off the tree. They're very tasty and it's growing beautifully. I'm actually probably going to have to prune it this year, but I haven't done that yet. And then before we go to the garden, hang on, we'll check in if I can get the door open. Hang on, it came out this door. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go, with the duckies and the chickies. You can't even tell that I cleaned their totes today. But here's our little peep peeps. So there's still 6 silky chicks in here and 6 ducks, and look at how much bigger they are now. So much bigger. Say hi, little peep peep. Peep 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 peep. Oh my goodness. And Ina asks to hold those chickens like all the time. Seriously, all the time. All right. So now we're gonna take a walk. So I actually have like a 2nd story deck, kind of, which is technically on the 1st floor because I have a walkout, but fully finished basement. All right, so here's some things I got going on down here. That's another dill plant with a couple of marigolds, and those are actually volunteer from the plants I had last year. This is a big pot of a few weeds, but mostly parsley. So 2 plants of parsley and a tiny bit of basil, because again, I had basil in that pot, so they volunteered. This is a big pot of cilantro that has all gone to seed now. So what I need to do is just drop some of that cilantro seed back in the pot. This is my favorite variety of the cilantro. It's called Slow Bolt, which you wouldn't know because it's June and it's already flowering. But this stuff basically overwintered because it was just mild enough on the patio that it like overwintered and grew, so that was great. This is my thyme plant, which I used to have other things in here, but the thyme kind of took over and I just finally decided to let it. So I dry a bunch of thyme off of this throughout the summer and then I use it. And then this is my big pot here of peas. The peas are pretty well done and I've gone ahead and let them go to seed. So I'm going to let all of these remaining seed pods plump up and dry out, and then I will have peas, the pea seeds, that I can replant. And I just kind of do this. Oh, and I did tuck just a few little beans down in here just for curiosity's sake. But what will happen is I will tear out these peas as soon as they're dry, and I can harvest my pea pods. And then I will actually replant this with either lettuce or beans for the rest of the summer. And that's a key thing, is I try to do a lot of succession planting. I'm not always successful at it, but I do attempt it. Here I have a couple of volunteer tomato plants. I didn't plant these guys. They just popped up from last year's like leftover fruits. But hey, there they are. And I had another one here, so I just went ahead and tossed tossed a cage around it just to kind of keep my husband from weed eating it, to be perfectly honest. And now we have some hopefully deer-proof fencing, 2 nice big gates, and now here we are in the garden. So yes, Kathy, the duckies are definitely getting big. My borage started to flower. I mostly put this in to help with pollinating, to attract pollinators, but It is an herb and it does have uses, so that's nice. This is kind of my sweet pepper patch. I grew all of these from seed, and they were in my milk jug greenhouses, which I think I showed you guys earlier in the year. And most of them seem to be doing well. Oh, I can see I need to tuck one in over here. I do like to cage my pepper plants so that they don't fall over. Let's see, I'll just tuck that one up in there. And there's a lot of bunny poop, that's bunny poop there, that we usually get in the boxes, but my husband put a little bit between. This is my hot pepper plant side over here, and I can see I've got, let's see, this would be my banana peppers. So this is a banana pepper that's already growing. I have another borage plant that I tucked here, again, just to help with, ooh, there's a weed. Let's get rid of that guy. Just to help with, now I can't find you. Where did you go? That's something else. When I'm out here, I tend to just weed as I go. Anytime I'm out here and I find a weed, I just try to take it out. We'll see. I may have trouble with that one. We'll leave it alone for now. Because you'll notice none of this is weed free. There's weeds in all of this. But I just try to keep it sort of weeded down as much as possible. And I go through here, and anytime I'm out here, I'll just pop weeds out. Some of my sweet pepper plants are not doing as well as I would like. The hot pepper plants seem to be doing really well. The eggplants, so I've got eggplant here. And again, I cage all of my eggplants because as they grow, it just seems to help them if I have them caged so that I can prop them up. And I did put eggplant on both sides, and then the green beans are kind of in front of them, and the green beans are just starting to produce. Let's see if there's there's some teeny tiny beans coming on right there. I have picked a couple handfuls of beans out of here, but oh, there's a nice one right there. But I haven't gone through and checked today. Oh, there's another nice one. A big one. Better take that one off too while I'm out here. That's another thing. While I'm out here, I tend to just like pick. There's a couple more. Oh, that's nice. I like, yes, I know I said green beans and these are yellow, but yes, I do have slugs that eat my leaves. And I also have, oh, that one's a little small. Oh well. I also have a couple kinds of beetles out here that seem to really love the leaves. So they also pick on my plants, and I'm gonna have to carry my green beans around. There's another weed. Bye-bye, weed. So yeah, I get holes in all of my leaves, and the eggplants get really picked on. There's these little tiny beetle things that pick on my eggplants really bad. And I've tried to spray them in years past and not had a ton of luck with it. So I need to stop weeding while I'm talking to you guys. It's just so hard not to weed while I'm out here. Anyway, so yeah, I have all kinds of different beans out here. I do have, of course, traditional French fillet beans because those are my favorite on my bush beans. But I also grow yellows, purples, and they all turn. There's another nice bean. Look at that. Yeah, baby. Nice green bean. I guess I should just call them bush bean. Anyway, so I do grow purples, and I grow yellows, and I grow a varietal called Dragon Tongue, which is a spotted one, but I don't see any of those yet, or I would show you. But the beans look much better this year. I've had a lot of trouble getting those to grow. So I'm happy that I have some. And again, you'll see, like, I am not weed free at all. We're not weed free. Here's my tomatoes. So I have 3 fence rows worth of tomatoes. This one, that one, and that one. And I've got some more work to do to knock the weeds back again. I don't do a great job keeping it weed free. I just try to keep it, you know, weeded. But anyway, I think I should have decent tomatoes. And these I all grew again from seed. This was supposed to be like a full fence row of cucumbers, and right now that's the sole plant that popped up. Oh look, and I also need to tie up a tomato. So the tomatoes, I keep this stuff out here. This is a like Velcro strip and a little dispenser, and I just tie up tomatoes again when I'm out here, anytime I'm out here. And then the same thing with my cucumbers. So this is supposed to be cucumbers, not bush cucumbers either. These are supposed to be vines growing up, but this guy doesn't really want to do that yet. Growing up this fence, and there's supposed to be cucumbers up this fence. And I can see again, I need to, I really got to get in here and weed again. And then, my gosh, this grass feels like it just grew overnight. I'll have to get my husband in here with a lawnmower. This over here, oh look, there's one head. Oh, it doesn't look great. But there's a head of cauliflower coming on. And I've done okay keeping my garlic weeded. Not as well as I should have, but I've done okay. So this end is garlic and the cauliflower. And then I've got beets. And I kind of have a stretch where I don't have much growing because I have too much bunny poop over there and it keeps getting too hot for them. Let's see. Do I have any more cauliflower heads coming on? Probably. I need to get in through here again and get this all knocked down. This was my bok choy, something or other that like all went to seed on me. Whoops! Didn't get that out in time. So I just let it. I decided, fine, whatever, I don't care. And I just let it. And then I have a little dab of potatoes over there, and there's a sunflower. Ina helped me with the sunflowers. But hopefully this makes you feel better. If you have any kind of garden, you'll notice mine is definitely not weed-free. And in fact, look, here's another weed. Let's just get rid of you. Keep the carrots. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. This is what I do when I'm out here. I'm just like, oh, look, bye-bye. There's another. Yep, bye-bye. So these are little carrots right here. This is not anything good. This is a carrot. This is actually a pineapple ground cherry right here. So I'm going to leave that guy in. And get rid of that. Well, I had hoped that I would have some better reseeding, but I didn't. But hey, look, there's a big old head of cauliflower coming on. We're going to have to cut that one soon. And then there's some more carrots under there. There's some big carrots under there. That's nice. And again, there we go with our potatoes. Oh, look, and I've got something that decided to come up here. Who knows? That could be a cucumber. And then these, again, these are my pineapple ground cherries. They're quite tasty. We just have trouble remembering to pick them. And then this is the area that I was going to till and I didn't get around to it. So it's a little wild. I was going to put the okra in over here, but instead we put the okra in there. And then this is another, yeah, this is another volunteer, as is this. I have no idea what it is, but I recognized that it was something in the pumpkin squash family. And I don't know if it's going to be a pumpkin or if it's going to be a squash. I fight squash bugs. And right there are some eggs. These are squash bug eggs. If you have squash plants of any sort and you find these need to come off. And usually I just grab my little bit of leaf that I find it on and I take them with me because those squash bugs will just destroy your plants. I hate squash bugs. And I had them like the first year I was here. Usually it takes a while for them to find it, but not with me. Yeah, and I have no idea what this is. Could be a cucumber, could be a melon, probably not a squash or a pumpkin. What else have I got going on? These are flowers because I wanted some flowers, so that's my stock plants. I don't think I said, but we're gonna put the okra in that one over there. I'm really late getting my okra in. There's a nice tall sunflower in the corner too, right there. This is a pepper plant that my husband saved from last year that's looking terrible. Oh yeah, and then here's like the only bed that looks really, really good right now. This is cauliflower, kale, and a bunch of lettuce. And I have eaten so much lettuce out of here. Oh yes, and then here's my radishes that went to seed. because I was too late getting them out. So I just left them, and I decided I'll just let them go to seed. I mean, they're kind of pretty. And then I can collect my seeds for next year. And then some more cauliflower. And I do have different colors. There's another orange one. There's an orange cauliflower in there. There's another borage plant here. And then we have a little bit of a jungle that developed because I didn't get this knocked back very well. But I've got some basil just starting to come up here and here, and then some pepper plants. And I think these are, I don't remember if these are all hot peppers now or if there are hots and sweets over here. And then here's another one of those pineapple ground cherries. And then there's this thing. So last year I planted a rat tail radish plant, and it did really, really well. So this is all a giant radish. This whole thing, this is a giant radish right here. And with the rat tail radish, you actually eat the seed pods. You don't eat the radish. But it has great flavor. So it came up volunteer, and I just kind of left it. And then I started knocking this stuff back last night because I went in and planted some things. I have more of that pineapple ground cherry, but then I have melon plants in here. So I don't remember if this is a cantaloupe type. I think it is. And then this one's some kind of watermelon based on the leaves. I've got a watermelon there. And then I have more that I planted last night. I just tucked all these in their little bud of bunny poop. Oh, and then to end our tour of the garden, we have the ever-present zucchini plants. And I did lose a couple. I don't know how. And I also have a couple more volunteer tomato plants over there next to the sunflower. And I see my one cage fell over with the storm last night, so I'll have to do something about that. However, we've got, look at this, that's a nice zucchini. Let's take that guy in. Look, that's a nice zucchini. Not too long. It's always, I don't like them really big. They're much better when they're small and tender. That's a good size too. I don't really see any there yet. Oh, there's more of that pineapple ground cherry over there. My only two, so sometimes they're in the ground and sometimes they're in the beds, depending on what he did. Let's see, any more zucchinis? Don't see any more. My husband found a really big one this morning, and you know, I've been looking, so I'm a little frustrated that I didn't find it myself. This is the fun part. That's a gray, you can't even see that, hang on. There's a gray squash down in there. I don't think it's gonna focus. Anyway, there's a gray squash down in there. And then pumpkins. Pumpkins over here, because I like growing my pumpkins too. So you can see, like, I don't have, you know, a perfectly weed-free garden. In fact, if anything, it looks even weedier today because we got all that rain last night. And I can really see that I need to grab the weed whacker or something and come in and clean out between my beds. But this is the first year. So I had these two raised beds last year, and I had the two back there. And then we put this one in kind of late. And then all the metal ones, those are brand new this year. So we're still kind of filling in and changing the shape of the garden. But I think this is where we're headed. We have the driveway kind of through here. And what I do is I use all of the sawdust from the, I'll talk to you guys now. I use all the sawdust from my duck house. And their, like, ducky poop, you know, when I have to clean that out here in the garden. And then I dump that in my walkways to help like start keeping the weeds down. And eventually it'll be really nice. It's just, it takes a while to get there when you're doing it a little bit at a time. So, you know, we fight the weeds for now. And I didn't till anything this year. I chose not to till at all. Should grab my zucchini. I chose not to till at all. So everything is just sort of, you know, in the beds that I fill with bunny poop, and we put some other stuff in. It's mostly bunny poop, and, you know, the stuff out of the nesting boxes. And it's, you know, it's very productive. It's just, it's very weedy. So if you have a weedy garden, like, don't feel bad. I mean, so do I, right? I have a very weedy garden here. We'll put the weeds in the background. There we go, very weedy garden. But it's still really productive, and I'm going to get a lot off of it. I just need to go through and, you know, and pull weeds and knock everything back again. And I didn't do as badly over here on the raised beds. I've been keeping up with them better. For whatever reason, I can't keep up with the stuff on the ground. My back isn't great anymore. Hoeing is really hard. So pretty much I get down on the ground and I pull stuff up. But you know, I'll get gallons of cucumbers to make pickles, and I'll have gallons of tomatoes to make sauce. And it's okay that it's weedy. I really like Baker Creek, which is based in Missouri, for seeds, and I also really like Territorial, which you may recognize because they're out of Oregon. So I tend to make a couple of big seed purchases from them each year. I was actually super surprised at how well a varietal of lettuce grew for me. It was called Paris Island Coss. It's sold out right now. But it's a really good lettuce. It's very similar to a romaine. I don't know, it's those tall ones right there, these tall guys. But really good lettuce, and I've been eating more salads because I have so much lettuce. Ina kind of helped me plant that one, so I ended up with a lot of lettuce, sort of like I have a lot of kale. Because again, Ina helped me plant that, and the seeds actually took. I guess the one thing I didn't talk about was my onion bed. I do have a bed of onions here, and some of them grew better than others, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Part of it's probably soil amendment because we threw a bunch of not bunny poop in that one. So, and part of it's also that I just have a sprinkler in. Once the beds are more established and we have everything in, my plan is to take my sprinkler, which is here, and turn that into a not sprinkler. So I would like to, put in a drip system. I'd like to put in a drip system throughout, and just make it better. And like I have a bed here where I tried to put potatoes. My potatoes just like mostly rotted this year. They didn't grow very well. So I think I might take this potato bed and throw another one of my raised bed rings around it, and you know, I'll put strawberries or something in it instead. So anyway, that's my walk through the garden. My pond is behind me. I don't know if you can see the duckies back there. Maybe you can kind of see them walking behind me. They're going wah, 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 wah right now, because I just have the two big adults left back there. It's a super pleasant day. Like, I kind of don't want to go back inside. I just want to stay out here and hide from my husband and my child. Isn't that terrible? But it's so nice. It's so nice out. I'd rather just stay out here and like start whacking down weeds than go back in the house. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my garden. I love growing things. I love having fresh produce. I'm not always great about using all of it. I should be better. And sometimes I can feed stuff to the dog or the rabbits, or, you know, occasionally the ducks. But a lot of times I throw it in the freezer and I use it later because I struggle coming up with recipes sometimes. But the salads, I've been doing a lot of salads, and so I'm getting quite good at making really quick dressings and salads because I had a ton of it. I actually found a really good recipe for the kale too that was like a Cajun rice bowl, and you sauteed the kale after your andouille sausage, which I didn't have, so I kind of used a jalapeno cheddar brat. I'm in the Midwest, it counts, right? But it was very tasty, so that was a nice use of my kale. Although a lot of times I just tear it up and I throw it in my salad too. I figure it's good for me, right? It's good for me. So anyway, Ina likes to come out here and help me, but she likes it a lot better when we have trimmed the grass in between all the rows because she doesn't like the tall grass that well. And I understand that. I don't blame her for that. So anyway, my husband kind of mowed the center here to help keep that down, since this is going to be our sort of drive-through. And I know it seems weird to have that in my garden, but because we put so much bunny poop and ducky poop / shavings in here, it makes a lot more sense to have a drive-through where we can like drive the cart in and unload it. So if we were smart, we should have done it short ways, not long ways. But I was tired when my husband proposed this, and well, it is what it is now. So we're going to live with it for a while, and then maybe we'll change it in a few years. There's no telling. Anyway, so I hope that you all have been out crafting in the sun and working in the sun and enjoying your time outside as much as possible. And that's another thing. I grew up on a farm, so when you go through a locked gate, we always lock the gate again. It's very important. Something I've had to teach my husband because he didn't grow up on a farm. So if you are not from a farm and you do not know this yet, if you go through a locked gate, always lock it behind you. It's very important. Might seem silly, but it's very important. Anyway, I hope that you have been, taking the time to get out and craft and do your things and enjoy the sunshine. I am eagerly awaiting. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a nice sunflower. So there's a couple big sunflowers right here. I don't know if I got them in frame, but there's a couple of nice big sunflowers right here. Ina helped me plant a whole bunch of sunflowers all the way around the perimeter. I love throwing the sunflowers around the perimeter, and just seeing their great big bold heads. I love them. I love sunflowers. It's one of the few flowers that I actually plant out here too. Sunflowers. We put the marigolds in for my husband, but the sunflowers are for me. So anyway, keep crafting, keep doing your thing. Remember to slow crawl and year of self-care, and make sure that you are posting for your experience challenge. And Wednesday we are going to be weaving, and I am planning to do a hand spun, hand dyed warp and weft. So we're going to talk about warping and weft and what you need to look for in your hand spun in order to use them for both. And it should be a grand old time. So hopefully I'll have the warp on. If not, we're gonna warp together and talk about all that stuff. And we're gonna be doing solar dyeing soon. If you didn't catch it, I did put up a short video on my experiments with kind of my first round of solar dyeing before we get into it on a live video. But it was a lot of fun, and I learned a ton. So I will tell you about everything that I learned when we do it live in a couple of weeks. So until Wednesday, yeah, take care of yourselves. What do I always say? Mentally, physically, emotionally, craftually. Take care of yourselves so that I can see you again. So I'll see you Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, the Instagram channel, and the TikTok channel if you haven't already, so that you see all of the latest things that we put up. All right, I'll see you guys later.